Yo, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of The Sauce. Another great night last night. And I started off 0-2 too. So I was like, winning streak's gonna end. Hot streak's over, this sucks. Rattled off 5 straight wins after that. Finished 5-2 plus 1.18 units, something like that. My plus 1500 parlay hit, and the top bet went 1-0. The other 3 got void, but can't argue with that, man. Let's keep it rolling into Wednesday. Only 7 games tonight, pretty light for an NBA Wednesday, but let's go.
Welcome to The Sauce. The Sauce. Sauce. Hey, get the sauce.
First up, Memphis on the road in Miami to play the Heat. This is a 7:30 p.m. tip time. Total opens up down to 220, and this line opens up Miami -3. This line's been moving. Last night it jumps up to 3.5. It's now at Miami -4. Public is slightly leaning Heat. Sharp money all over the Heat. Let's take a quick look at our spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Miami -0.37. So we're looking at a 3.5, 4-point lean on Memphis here. If you watch this channel, you know that my favorite team to bet on is the Memphis Grizzlies without Ja Morant in the lineup. Since 2020, the Memphis Grizzlies are 32-16 without Durant in the lineup, a significantly better win percentage without him than with him. Now, Steven Adams still out for Memphis, and that sucks, but Xavier Tillman's playing his ass off filling those minutes, and he fits right in with the Grizzlies' play style. He's big, physical, good rebounder. According to 538 Raptor Analytics, check this out. This just shows you how good of a defensive team the Grizzlies are. So Xavier Tillman, their backup center, is the 40th highest rated defensive player in the NBA. Here's the crazy part. He's the 5th highest rated defensive player on the Grizzlies. So Memphis has 5 of the top 40 defenders in the NBA on their team. And they truly match up well against this Miami Heat team. They have multiple defenders that can switch off against the Heat best scorers. Against Adebayo, they can switch off between Tillman and Jackson Jr. Against Butler, they can switch off between Jackson Jr. and Dillon Brooks. And then against Hero, they can switch off with Dillon Brooks, Desmond Bane, Tyus Jones. Everyone can play defense on Memphis. I'm going to continue riding this Memphis team without Ja Morant because they continue to pay me. So I'm taking the points. Give me Memphis +4 next game. Sixers are on the road in Cleveland to play the Cavs for another 7:30 p.m. start. Another low total opens up at 217. This line opens up Cleveland +2. Line moves up to 2.5, and looks like we got a little bit of a pros versus public setup here. Public is definitely on Philadelphia. Sharp money definitely on Cleveland. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Cleveland +4.53. So we're looking at a 2-point lean on Philly. Sixers are red hot right now, 11-3 in their last 14 games, but more importantly, they're 5-1 in their last 6 on the road. The reason I said more importantly is we already knew that this Philly team can get hot at home. We know that this is one of the best home teams in the NBA. What we didn't know is if we could handicap this Sixers team as an elite team on the road. In the last few weeks, they're showing us that we can. The defense still isn't where it needs to be for Philadelphia if they plan on making a deep playoff run, but they still have time. And let's give them some credit. Since the All-Star break, they've done a better job of protecting the basket. Since All-Star break, they're 9th in the NBA defensive efficiency at the rim, which is huge in this matchup because that's exactly what the Cavs offense does. Since the All-Star break, over 37% of their field goal attempts have come at the basket. That's 3rd in the NBA. We definitely need to know if Jared Allen's going to play for Cleveland. He sat out last night. He's listed as questionable today. That changes the whole game plan up for Philly. Evan Mobley has been red hot offensively. He's been a scoring machine inside. If Jared Allen's on the floor, it makes it really tough for the Sixers to commit Joel Embiid to one of those guys because PJ Tucker's technically their 4 and he's 6'5". Mobley and Jared Allen are absolute towers. So I do like that angle for Cleveland if Jared Allen plays. That being said, I think the Sixers are head and shoulders a better team than Cleveland. And this is a short line. It's still just 2.5. I know spot-wise it might be a spot to bet Cleveland, but I'm taking the better team here. Give me Philly -2.5 next game.
Update, Jared Allen officially ruled out. Line is still sitting at 2.5, so nothing changes. Philly -2.5. Let's go.
Lakers on the road in Houston to play the suddenly hot Rockets. I'll call them hot. I mean, hot by their standards. This is an 8 p.m. start. Total opens up at 234, and this line opens up Houston +4.5. Line drops all the way down to 2.5 late last night, early this morning. Most likely that's a reaction to the news that Anthony Davis is going to sit. Public is all over the Lakers here. All over the Lakers. Line moves from 2.5 up to 3. So we're at Houston +3 now. Let's take a quick look at the spreadsheet according to the model. You already know. I'm saying Houston -1.83. My model loves Houston because they're the best rebounding team in the NBA right now. So Anthony Davis is out for the Lakers, right? Let me ask you something. Who's protecting the rim for that team? Because RotoWire currently has Jared Vanderbilt as the starting five for the Lakers tonight. That is a problem because the Rockets attack the rim more than anyone else in the NBA by far. Over 44% of the Rockets' shot attempts since the All-Star break have come at the basket. No other NBA team is above 37%. Jared Vanderbilt's a great defender, but he's not a traditional rim protector. If you got almost half of the Rockets' shot attempts coming at the basket, I don't know if he's the guy you want under there. Now, the Lakers' defense has been excellent. They're second in the NBA in overall defensive efficiency since the break, so they deserve some credit. But Anthony Davis protecting the basket is a huge reason for that. He's out. Not to mention, the Rockets are playing some better basketball right now. They're 4-2 against the spread in their last 6. This team has definitely taken a step forward since Kevin Porter Jr. and Jalen Green returned from injury. I'm on the Rockets here, but I'm not going to bet this one yet. I'm going to hold out. Sengun is questionable. That's the Rockets center. Obviously, if the angle I like is that Houston could get buckets at the basket, having their starting five in the lineup so they can use that size advantage even more, obviously that's important to me. So I'm on Houston +3, but I'm holding out and not betting it yet. I need to see what's up with Sengun first. One more thing I forgot to add. If Sengun doesn't play, I'm definitely betting the over here. With these two teams both missing their starting five, they're just going to be going back and forth trading buckets. So it should fly over this total if Sengun doesn't play.
One sec, Prop Beaver's got another smoker for us, apparently. Hit it, hit me.
D'Lo over 22.5 points, 23.5 points if it's on your book. Absolute heater, tons of volume, bet it.
Absolute heater, he says.
Sacramento Kings on the road in Chicago. This is an 8 p.m. tip. This total opens up 225, and this line opens up as a pick. Line slightly moves. We're now looking at Chicago +1. Public is all over the Kings here. Both Kings and Lakers are the two most public plays on the board so far. So let's take a look at the spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Chicago -2.74. That's about a 4-point lean on the Bulls here. So the Kings are one of the best road teams in the NBA. Knicks, Kings, Thunder. 3 teams that you can consistently put your money on the road. You know what? Actually, you can add the Utah Jazz to that list as well recently. Those are the teams you can consistently bet on the road. Matchup-wise, this is a tough out for Sacramento, though. They're in Chicago against a Bulls team whose specialty is their perimeter defense. Pat Bev and Caruso out there. Their specialty is stopping you from hitting your threes. What does Sacramento's offense feature? The 3-point shot. The thing is, the Bulls defense has not been playing at the same elite level it was a month ago. In fact, since March 1st, the Bulls defense is just 26th in efficiency. 26. Now, that's since March 1st. That's 5 games. It's a tiny sample size. But the point is, I don't know if we could trust this defense like we could 3-4 weeks ago. Kings -1 is the obvious pick here. The obvious pick. And that's why I hate it. Because I feel like I'm going to lose this bet. It's so square. But I can't take Chicago at +1. Maybe if I was catching 4.5, 5. But +1... Give me Sacramento -1, and I hate myself for it next game. Boston Celtics on the road in Minnesota to play the T-Wolves. This is an 8 p.m. start. Actually, is it 8:30? Sorry. 8 p.m. start. Total opens up 233, and this line opens up Minnesota +3.5. This line's been on the move a little bit. We're now up to Minnesota +5, and we got a pros versus public look here. Public is definitely on Boston. Sharp money definitely on Minnesota. Let's take a look at our spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Minnesota -1.68. Huge lean on the T-Wolves, 6.5-point lean on Minnesota. The Minnesota Timberwolves defensively are excellent against the mid-range shot. First in the NBA since the All-Star break. Actually, they've been first in the NBA for most of this season. They're also top 10 in protecting the basket. Very good protecting the rim, this Minnesota defense. Where they struggle, defending the 3-point shot. It's been a problem of theirs all season. And guess what? They're playing the Boston Celtics. That's the worst matchup ever for that. Since the All-Star break, the Boston Celtics are 3rd in the NBA in 3-point frequency. The Minnesota Timberwolves 24th in defensive efficiency against the 3-point shot. But here's the thing. Celtics have been pretty cold shooting the ball recently. In their last 8 games, they're just 3-5. And check these numbers out. Tatum shooting 32.9% from 3. Jaylen Brown 30.2% from 3. Derek White, remember he was red hot 2-3 weeks ago? He's shooting just 21.9% from 3 in the last 8 games. We're talking about laying 5 points on the road with a Boston team that's just 1-3 straight up in their last 4 road games, with a team that's heavily reliant on the 3-point shot that isn't falling for them right now. And the Timberwolves offense has a nice little mismatch themselves against the Celtics defense. Timberwolves are similar to the Cavs, the Rockets. They love to attack the basket. They're 4th in shot frequency at the rim since the All-Star break. That plays directly into the weakness of the Celtics defense. They're just 19th defending the rim since the All-Star break. Robert Williams going down has really gutted this Celtics defense. I like Minnesota here, but I need Gobert to play. He's listed as questionable. If he doesn't play, I really think that's going to result in even more open looks from outside for Boston, and it could be the perfect opportunity for them to snap their cold shooting streak. So here's what I'm going to do. If Gobert plays, I'm going to take the points. I'm going to take Minnesota +5. If Gobert doesn't play, I'm still betting Minnesota, but I'm going to split my money in half. I'm going to go half on Minnesota plus the points and half on the over at, I think it's 233.5. So that's how I'm going to play this one. Next game.
Hold up. Prop Beaver says he has a prop for this game he wants to give us. So real quick, hit us with it.
Must bet hammerlock of the century. Anthony Edwards over 37.5 PRAs. Volume.
Better hit.
Dallas is on the road to play the San Antonio Spurs. This is an 8:30 p.m. start. This total opens up 227. Line opens up Spurs +5.5. Line actually drops down to 5 for a couple hours, but then comes right back up to 5.5. Public is all over the Mavs, as you would expect. Let's take a quick glance at our spreadsheet, and according to the model, the line for this game should be Spurs +2.00 exactly. So we're looking at a 3.5 point lead on San Antonio. I'm skipping this game. There's just way too many question marks. I had to write them down. I couldn't even memorize all the questions. You ready for this? Luka Doncic is still out, obviously. Kyrie questionable. Christian Wood questionable. Tim Hardaway Jr. questionable. That's for the Mavs. So they're 4 best players, by the way. Spurs, Trey Jones questionable, Keldon Johnson questionable, Milwaukee Prodham questionable, and Romeo Langford questionable. You can make an argument that that's the Spurs' best 4 players. I wouldn't even know how to start handicapping a matchup like that with that many question marks. Maybe I bet this game later when I know who's playing, but for right now, I'm skipping it. Next game.
Couple updates to this one. Jeremy Sohan out, Devin Vassell out, Kyrie Irving now doubtful. Yeah, I'm sticking to my plan. Skip this game. Maybe I'll tweet something out later. Probably not.
Game of the night, Golden State Warriors on the road in LA to play the Clips. This is a 10 p.m. start. Total opens up at 234, and this line opens up Clippers -2. As expected, public is all over the Clippers here, auto-fading Golden State on the road. Pretty much the entire world has hopped onto that trend. Line goes up to 3, but actually drops back down. We're still at Clips -2. So let's take a quick look at our spreadsheet. According to the model, the line for this game should be Clips -6.17. So looking at a solid lead on the Clippers, 4 points. Golden State is now what? 7-26 on the road, 8-24-1 against the spread on the road. I mean, you can make a legitimate argument that Golden State is the worst road team in the NBA. And like, you could throw the Rockets and the Spurs in with that discussion. So as expected, everyone's betting the Clippers here. Don't blame them. Golden State's trash on the road. But you want to know who's one of the worst home teams in the NBA against the spread? Yeah, the Clippers. Now, it's not nearly as bad as Golden State on the road, but still, the Clippers at home are just 15-18 against the spread, just 23rd best in the NBA. It's so hard to handicap a Golden State Warriors game right now because the analytics are just so night and day on the road and at home. It just doesn't even make sense. It kind of reminds me of Zach Greinke last year betting Royals games. When he starts at home, he was like the best pitcher in the MLB, and he was like 0-9 on the road. It was literally night and day. As far as betting this game, I'm throwing a few dollars on the over at 237. That's for starters. And then this next part you're going to hate. I'm taking the Warriors here. And the part you're going to hate is the reason. I'm taking the Warriors because I know everybody is betting the Clippers. And that's not a legitimate reason to make a bet. I mean, that could be part of a reason, but usually there's got to be something else. Nah, I'm just fading the heavy public here. I'm riding with Golden State. Give me the points. Give me Golden State +2 and the over at 237.
One last prop from Prop Beaver. I saw this on Twitter. He's taking Klay Thompson under, right?
Yeah, Klay Thompson under 22.5 points. 12 straight unders against the Clippers with Steph Curry. Book.
All right.
If anything changes with these bets, I will let you know on Twitter, so give me a follow there if you're interested. Also, if you want the final tickets, we've been hot as the top bets, parlay of the day, that kind of stuff. Head over to KyleKirms.com, or you can download the Sauce Network app. All right, NBA Wednesday off to another hot start this week. Let's keep it rolling. This is like a 6 or 7 day heater we're on. I don't want it to end yet. Remember to bet responsibly, and I'll talk to you on Twitter.